powerful army formation in the world stands poised on the River Don, only 40 miles from the city of Stalingrad. 250,000 German troops are at the vanguard of Adolf Hitler's master plan to cut the Soviet Union in two and extend the Third Reich to the borders of Asia. But 4 weeks later, German soldiers are locked in bloody hand-to-hand combat in a nightmare landscape of twisted steel and concrete. They call it rat warfare.
We fought not for yards, but for every brick, literally for every inch.
Dawn on the 14th of September, just 2 weeks after the Luftwaffe air raids, Paulus put his plan into action. And with each passing hour, the Soviets were rapidly losing control. In little over 24 hours, German forces had stormed the southern part of the city. The main railway station was in their control, and the landing stage was surrounded and under heavy fire. Mamayev Kurgan, the city's highest, was also under attack from the Germans.
Here on the East Bank, there were 10,000 Soviet reinforcements preparing to enter the city. They were elite troops, but they were short of ammunition, and 1 in 10 of them didn't even have a rifle. Nevertheless, at 7 p.m., they received orders to cross. Heavy German artillery fire rained down on the boats crossing the river. The water soon filled with burning debris and floating human remains. As the troops neared the shore, the scale of the devastation would have become clear. They would even have been able to smell the stench of corpses rotting in the summer heat. But there was no chance. Reinforcements were thrown straight into the heart of the battle. Some stormed the shore and secured the landing stage. From there, they moved quickly through the streets in order to retake the main railway station. Others joined the battle for Mamayev Kurgan, where the fighting was increasingly ferocious. Artillery fire had turned this whole hilltop into a moonscape of blackened craters. It was also deafeningly noisy. One Russian soldier compared it to having steel needles pushed through his eardrums into his brain. Bodies of the dead and wounded lay everywhere throughout the city. But the Germans were in for a dreadful shock, because while Hitler was obsessed with the fighting in the city, Stalin's high command had been planning a bold offensive that would change the course of the whole battle. On the 19th of November, the Soviets launched one of the most awesome counterattacks in modern history. Field guns, mortars, and rockets began a ferocious bombardment 75 miles to the west of Stalingrad. It was the earth-pounding product of 2 months' secret planning. For 80 minutes, artillery thundered. Then, at 8:40 a.m., they suddenly fell silent. Minutes later, wave upon wave of Soviet tanks broke out from beneath their camouflage. The key phase of the Soviet battle plan was now underway. Hundreds of thousands of Soviet troops and thousands of tanks had been hidden in the countryside around Stalingrad, and now they were on the attack. The weather was appalling. Snow and freezing fog made it almost impossible to see where they were going. Urged on by their commanders, the troops surged forward. Great Soviet comeback, thrusting deep into enemy-held territory. Soviet forces were closing like huge jaws around Paulus and his entire 6th Army. On the 24th of November, the jaws closed near the town of Kalach. The terrible reality dawned on Paulus. As many as 300,000 men in Stalingrad and the surrounding countryside were trapped in an area that became known as the Kessel, German word for cauldron.